Juarez and I am the founder of AthleteK. In today's video, I'm going to be going over a workout for an athlete in his off-season for Olympic weightlifting. In the off-season, it is super important to create a good base of fitness. So this means improving their strength, their power, their speed. All these things are important to create a good foundation in the off-season so that if this athlete were to ever go into a competitive season, his preseason would be more focused on reaching peak fitness. First, I'm going to be going over the workout with you guys on the whiteboard. Then, I will be explaining each movement that we just went over, and I'm going to have my athlete demonstrate the movements. So let's get started. All right, first things first, we got to get the body moving. So we are going to start with a 3-minute warm-up on the bike. That's going to get our body nice and warm. After that, we're going to grab a PVC pipe, and we're going to warm up our whole body for the movements that are going to be done later. First one is pass-throughs. We'll do 10 reps. Then we'll do overhead squats, 10 reps. Then we're going to do hang shrugs, 5 reps, hang shrug pulls, 5 reps, and the last one, hang shrug pull catch, 5 reps as well. All of these are going to be done in the power snatch position. Because we're going to be also working the power clean position, we'll do these same 3 movements, but in the power clean position. After our warm-up, now we're going to move to the workout. So for today's workout, we're going to be doing 5 sets of 5 power snatches. Following that, we're going to move into our power cleans. For this one, we'll be doing 5 sets of 4. After that, because it's super important to add squats to build a good base of strength for our legs for these power snatches and power cleans, we'll be doing back squats 4 sets of 6. To follow that, we'll finish with overhead presses to hit our shoulders, 4 sets of 6. And finally, because it's super important for all of these movements listed here to have a very strong core to stabilize our spine, we're going to finish with 2 core movements. First one is going to be plank holds, 3 sets of 30 seconds with about 45 seconds rest in between. And the last one will be dumbbell dead bugs, 3 sets, 10 reps each side, followed by 45 seconds rest. After this workout, we're going to be nice and warm, fatigued by then, so we have to finish with a cool down of 3 minutes on the bike. So after our warm-up on the bike, we're going to start with our PVC warm-up. So go ahead and grab your PVC pipe. First movement that we're going to do is pass-throughs. This is going to warm up our shoulders, shoulder joints, rotator cuff. All super important that we have nice and warm before we do any heavy lifts later on. So you're going to go in a nice wide snatch position. The wider you go, depending on each person, it's going to help your range of motion. From here, you're going to go all the way back. That's going to count as 1 rep, and then bring it back to the front. That's 2. We're going to do 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. From here, since we already have our arms out nice and wide, we're going to move into an overhead squat. So we're going to put our feet right underneath our shoulders, toes slightly turned out because this is going to open up your hips on the way down. Make sure your elbows are nice and locked out. From here, you're going to hinge at your waist, keep that back nice and straight, sit down as deep as you can, make sure your feet are nice and even on the floor, and stand up nice and tall. 10 reps of these as well. So 2, squeeze at the top, those glutes, 3, 4, 5, and you want to make sure that PVC pipe stays right over your ears, overhead. 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, and 10. Good. Now our legs are nice and warm, and your shoulders should be too. After this, now we're going to warm up the power snatch pulls. So the first one that we're going to do, you're going to put your hands up nice and wide. This one is going to be our hang shrug. So in the hang position, we're going to start at the knee. Bend, keep your feet about shoulder width apart, toes pointed forward. From here, you're going to hinge at your hips. Spine is nice and neutral. Your head is going to be up. From here, we're going to pull up and back towards your hips. And from here, you're going to go into the shrug. So you want to extend at the ankles, knees, and hips. So that was in slow motion. I'm going to do it a little faster. So you start at the knee. We're going to do 5 of those. Really emphasizing the shrug at the top, but we're not going to pull with our elbows. So pull back, shrug, go ahead and go back down. You want to keep that barbell nice and close to your legs. 3, 4, big shrug at the top of those shoulders, 1 more, 5. Okay, now that we warmed up that extension, now we're going to go into the hang, shrug, pull. So that one is just going to be the same thing, but we're gonna pull with our elbows. You wanna make sure your elbows are pulling up and that barbell is staying nice and close to your body. So this one is gonna look like this. Start at the knee, you're hinged at the waist, your back is nice and straight, make sure that head is up. From here, you're going to do the same thing, pull, shrug, and then elbows up. Okay, so 5 of those. Go back down to position, 2, back down, 3, see how my shirt is going up? That's how you know you're keeping it nice and close. 4, one more, 5. Now the last one to finish off these pulls is the hang, shrug, pull, and catch. So we're gonna catch it in the power snatch position. This is gonna warm us up for the power snatches we're doing later. So we're gonna start at the knee. We're gonna do everything that we just did, but now we're gonna turn over the PVC pipe and catch it overhead. It's gonna look like this. Pull back to your hip, big shrug, big pull, drop under it and catch. Elbows are locked out, your head is still up, you're sitting in that nice power position. Glutes are fired up right now, hamstrings and everything, and then you're just gonna go back down. That was 1 rep, and now we're gonna do 4 more. Start at the knee, pull, catch. And when you land, you're nice and flat on those feet. Heels are nice and planted in the ground. So here, you're gonna pull, shrug, drop. 2 more. Pull, drop. Last one. Down to the knee, keep that head up. Shrug, pull, catch. All right, so that was the warm-up for the power snatch position. Now we're gonna repeat those same 3 movements, hang, shrug, pull, hang, shrug, pull, catch, but now in the power clean position because we're gonna be doing this in our workout. All right, so now we're gonna repeat those same 3 pulls, but like I said, in the power clean position, so they're very similar. Now we're just going to bring our hands in, feet again, shoulder width apart, toes pointed forward. Your hands are right outside your body. And you're gonna go down to your knee again because we're gonna be doing the hang power clean later on. From here, you're gonna do the hang shrug. So that one, remember, looks like this. Big shrug at the top, full extension, ankles, knees, hips, and then back down. And really bring those shoulders up towards your ears. 5 times. 3, 4, full extension, and then back down. 5. This extension is important to emphasize before we do the movement later so that you get that full extension before you try and drop under. So next up is the hang, shrug, pull. So now we're gonna pull with our elbows. Back down to the knee, make sure your spine is nice and neutral. Keep your head up. Now we're gonna do hang, shrug, pull, and then back down. Keep those elbows high. Back down, 5 times. 3, pull back on the barbell, 4, and 5. Cool. So that concludes our warm-up portion with our PVC pipe. Now we're gonna move into the workout. So I'm gonna bring out my athlete so that he can demonstrate the workout for you guys. Let's get started.
Hello. All right, welcome to the workout part of this video. So we reviewed this workout in the beginning, and I just wanted to do a voiceover of my athlete demonstrating each exercise so that I could explain a little bit better in detail what I'm looking for in each movement, as well as some things that were discussed with this athlete as far as things that could be worked on. So I have 2 clips here that you're going to be seeing of this first exercise. This is the power snatch. Originally when I planned this workout, I wanted to do a full power snatch starting from the deadlift position. However, once we started, I noticed that this athlete could work a little bit more on the second pull, that extension. So here you see him setting up for his second set. What I had him do was I was telling him to extend a little bit more at the ankle, which you can see a little bit better there. This barbell is not the right length that we normally work with. We're working out from home, but it is still definitely doable. So whenever you're doing a power snatch, a hang power snatch, you're gonna start right at the knee, pull back towards your hip, big shrug, big pull with the elbows, and it's a quick turnover to catch it overhead. It's important that you land flat on your feet, you keep your head up, and those elbows are locked out, really pressing up with your lats on the barbell so that you can keep those elbows locked out and the catch is nice and solid. Next, we are moving on to our power cleans. Again, like I mentioned, when I planned the workout originally, I was going to have him do it from the deadlift position, but because we are still emphasizing and working on the extension in the second pull, which is from the knee right here up to the hip. I wanted him to work on extending a little bit more at the ankles so he can get a full extension and catch. In the power clean, you need to have a quick turnover in the elbows so that your catch with the barbell under your chin is strong. All right, next up here, we are working on back squats. This athlete has a really good concept of hinging at the waist, and on the way up, if you notice, he pushes his hips forward, squeezes at the top those glutes. That way he's using his hamstrings and glutes and not only his quads. This next movement before we work on core is the overhead press. The overhead press is a strict press, which means that there is no help or momentum coming from the legs. This exercise works the shoulders as well as the core. Something that I like to tell my athletes is to squeeze their glutes so that it engages their core, it incorporates it a little more so that when they're pressing overhead, there is no arch in the lower back. The barbell needs to go straight overhead, right over the ears, and your head pokes all the way through. Now we're going to be moving on to the core section of our workout. This is the plank position. He is going to perform 3 sets for 30 seconds, and we rested for about 45 seconds in between. The plank position is actually one of the most difficult core exercises because it requires your whole trunk and you have to use your core to keep you up off the ground without any arch in the lower back. So what I like to tell my athletes is to make sure, like you see here, he has a nice rounded upper back. His head is down, spine is neutral. Again, I have them squeeze their glutes, so this works the core a lot more. It prevents the lower back from arching. You want to have nice tight quads so everything is nice and tight and firm in position, and you can support yourself much better using your actual core instead of feeling this in your lower back. Coming up right now is our last core exercise. I wanted to show him engaging his core before he started the movement. If you can see there, he picked his head up, rounded out his shoulders, make sure the back is nice and flat before he extends. So adding the dumbbell makes it a little bit more challenging. He's a strong athlete, which is why I had him do it with the dumbbell. However, if I was just starting out with somebody, I would have them do it with body weight. The purpose of this exercise is to use your rectus abdominis. So you want to make sure that without a doubt, your back is pressed flat into the ground. When you extend your leg out, there should be no arch in the lower back. This is going to ensure that you are using your rectus abdominis muscles, which are just the muscles that run right down the front of your stomach, correctly and properly. Keeping your head up can also help athletes engage their core a little better throughout the entire movement. Now he's going to start the other side. So this one was 3 sets, 10 reps each side, and do one side at a time to really just focus on each side. You want to make sure that your foot does not touch the ground when it extends, neither your arm. Nice and slow, and bring it back in. Also make sure that your knees are in line with your hips. This is going to put a little bit more stress on the core, but that's what you want. Nice and slow, and pull it back in. It's really important to work core and to work it properly because it supports your spine, and it's crucial in athletes to really get that transfer of power from the legs to the upper body. So I really emphasize core movements with all of my athletes. This is the last part of the workout I have my athlete do afterwards. It is his cool down. You're going to hear me right now explain what the cool down does, but I just wanted to include a video so that you could see also what he used for his 3-minute warm-up.
Alright, so now that we're done with the workout, we're just going to finish with a 3-minute cool down on the bike. This is so that our athlete can bring his heart rate back down after that really intense workout, and just so that when he leaves the gym, he doesn't feel any dizziness or fatigue. So just so that we're safe, that cool down is super important. And that's pretty much it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it, and I hope you learned a little something. I'll see you guys in the next one.